viewers, welcome to Borderlines, a show where opinions do not have borders. I'm Abhilasha Gupta, media student from India, and I'm researching on women empowerment. Well, the term women empowerment has prevailed in our society for a long time now, and many researchers and scholars and experts have opinions about women empowerment, and they have defined it their own way. So tonight I have a guest with me, and let's see what she has to say about female emancipation that we talk about. So this is Lamiya Abdulrahman. So tell me something about you, Lamiya.
First of all, I am from a lot of countries. My father's from India and Iran, and my mother is from Kenya and Oman, so I'm very diverse. But unfortunately, I only speak, my mother tongue is Swahili, which is the Kenyan language.
All right, that's great. And you're studying here?
I have finished a bachelor degree in psychology.
So Lamia, as we're talking about female emancipation and women empowerment, according to you, what do you think are the characteristics that make a woman empowered?
Well, I believe that equality is one of them, but it's also quite important to understand that equality is, there's some parts that a man and a woman should be equal, but then there's other parts where a man and a woman should not be equal, where a woman should be much higher and where a man should be much higher, which is something that the society does not actually understand.
Yes.
Which is quite frustrating. But equality is a fundamental thing about women empowerment. So being raised and also being born in London, I was fortunate enough to be able to be given the empowerment as a woman here. Mm-hmm. However, I could see the difference when I do go back home in Kenya. Unfortunately, I have not been to any of my other countries to be able to compare. But for example, in Kenya, I'm fortunate enough to realise that I have been given the opportunity to be as equal as my brothers, my father, etc. And I would like for the rest of the world, because in the Western society, obviously empowerment of women is more out there. People respect women more here, and women have more of a voice, which is fantastic, and it needs to be experienced more in other countries, especially the third world country, which most of my countries that my backgrounds do fall under.
So in the postmodern world that we live in, there are many feminist and, female speakers and even, feminist male speakers. They talk about women's genitals and, menstrual cycles, and they openly speak about breasts and every part that is very private to a woman on the name of emancipation. So what do you think? Is this really women empowerment?
Well, I can only speak from a religious point of view, and obviously I'm against that. I believe that women are trying to find a way to bring themselves in the same position as men, and obviously men they show these body parts, etc. So women are like, why not us? But they're ignoring the fact that equality isn't about the body. It's about positions in the world. It's about, how much respect people are getting, how much recognition people are getting, whether they're up here because they worked for it, or up here because they're a man, not, body parts and what's being shown, etc. I mean, by all means, if a woman wants to show those body parts, then I'm not judging, but from a religious point of view, I don't believe that this is the way to go, especially when trying to show, that I'm just like you. That's not. I don't think that's. Yeah.
So Lamia, in this day and age, I think that female emancipation or women empowerment has lost its essence. At a level, because stand-up comedians are making shows about them. They're earning money. It's all about consumerism and also the viewers. I mean, it's becoming a new manner of voyeurism because they just watch it for entertainment. There's no impact or effect of such comedy shows or the campaigns that they host. So what's your take on it?
I feel that these kind of movements sometimes are misconceived by the public eye. For example, Amber Rose, she had a slut walk, and of course it built up an uproar because of the name, and she was basically saying that if you want to go about naked, then go ahead and do so. But she had a reason behind this walk. Fair enough, the way she went about it was not exactly fantastic. You wouldn't want your children to follow this kind of, movement. However, her reasons behind it were great. So that's the most fundamental, most important thing, is a reasoning behind a movement. Some people, they use these reasons for consumerism. So let's say, fashion shows where they free the nip. They have a reason for why they'd like to do this, but then fashion people, fashion companies, they'd use this reason to try and gain profit for themselves.
Yes.
So the movement is important, but there's a misconception as to who and why these people are using these movements, if that makes sense.
So it was a great show, and I guess it was a great talk as well. It was wonderful to have you, and I guess we have touched the untouched pages of women empowerment in patriarchy from a global citizen's perspective. So thank you for being with us, Lamia.
Thank you for having me.
So keep watching Borderlines. See you next week.